The forest was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the kind that presses against your ears and makes you question every step. Armin had learned long ago to respect that silence. Wilderness had its own language, and when it went still, it meant something was watching. The late afternoon sun filtered through tall pine trees, painting the ground with trembling gold. He adjusted the straps of his worn backpack and moved carefully along the narrow trail, scanning the underbrush. He had come out here for solitude, for a break from a world that constantly underestimated him. He never expected fate to be waiting behind a fallen log. The scream tore through the forest like a blade. It wasn't a cry of surprise. It was pain, sharp, desperate, and fading fast. Armin didn't hesitate. Years of instinct took over as he ran toward the sound, pushing through branches and leaping over roots. He found her collapsed near a moss-covered rock, her pale dress stained with dust, one hand gripping her ankle. Just inches away, a thick, dark serpent slithered back into the brush, its scales glinting before disappearing completely. "Don't move," Armin ordered firmly, kneeling beside her. Her breathing was rapid, her eyes wide with fear. 2 puncture marks on her lower leg were already swelling, the skin around them turning an angry shade of purple. "It bit me," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I didn't see it." "You're going to be fine," he said with calm authority he didn't fully feel. He tore a strip of cloth from his sleeve and tied it above the bite to slow the venom spread, not too tight, just enough. He quickly assessed the wound, his mind racing. He had trained in wilderness survival years ago, lessons passed down from his father. Pressure, stillness, and speed. That was the key. "Stay with me." "What's your name?" he asked, keeping her conscious. "Layla," she breathed. "Okay, Layla. Focus on me. Look at me." Her eyes locked onto his, fear softening into trust. He helped her lean back carefully, keeping her leg immobilized. He knew the nearest ranger station was miles away. Carrying her would be the only option. Without wasting another second, he lifted her into his arms. Layla gasped softly but didn't protest. She clung to his shirt as he moved quickly but steadily through the forest. Every step mattered. Every minute counted. As he walked, she studied his face. Strong jaw, intense eyes, quiet determination. Not panic. Not doubt. Just resolve. "You're not from around here," she murmured weakly. "No," he replied. "But I know enough to get you out." Minutes felt like hours. Sweat beaded across his forehead as the forest seemed to stretch endlessly. He refused to slow down. Finally, the distant outline of the ranger cabin came into view. Relief flooded him. He kicked the door open and shouted for help. Within moments, emergency responders were working swiftly, taking over with professional precision. An anti-venom injection. Oxygen. Reassurance. Armin stepped back, chest rising heavily, watching as the color slowly returned to Layla's face. "You saved her life," one of the medics said quietly. Armin nodded once. Just did what anyone would do. But he knew that wasn't true. Many would have frozen. Many would have walked away. He stayed until they confirmed she was stable. As they prepared to transport her to the nearest hospital, Layla reached out weakly. "Wait." He stepped closer. "Don't disappear," she said softly. "Please." He hesitated. He wasn't used to being needed. "I won't," he replied. 2 days later, Armin stood awkwardly in the grand lobby of a hospital far more luxurious than he expected. Marble floors. Crystal chandeliers. Security guards positioned like statues. He felt out of place in his simple clothes. A sharply dressed man approached him. "You must be Armin." "Yes. Miss Layla has been asking for you." "Miss Layla." The tone caught his attention. He followed the men down a quiet corridor and into a private suite that looked more like a 5-star hotel room than a hospital ward. Layla sat upright in bed, color fully restored, elegance radiating effortlessly from her posture. She smiled the moment she saw him. "You came. You asked me to." There was something different now. Something regal in the way staff moved around her. The way they addressed her. "Armin," she began, studying him carefully, "there's something I didn't tell you." He folded his arms casually. You were a little busy surviving. She smiled faintly. My family owns the Asmer Fort. His brow furrowed. Asmer Fort wasn't just an old building. It was legendary. A historic stronghold overlooking the valley, known for its wealth, heritage, and power. It had belonged to one family for centuries. You're joking, he said quietly. I'm not. Silence filled the room. I'm the sole heiress, she continued. And if you hadn't found me, none of this would matter. Armin processed the information slowly. The woman he had carried through the dirt and danger wasn't just a traveler. She was royalty in her own world. I didn't save you because of who you are, he said finally. I know, she replied. That's exactly why I needed to see you again. There was no arrogance in her voice. No superiority. Just gratitude. My life has been surrounded by people who want something from me, she admitted. Money. Power. Access. But you didn't even know my name. He looked at her steadily. Out there, none of that matters. She held his gaze, something unspoken passing between them. Come to the fort, she said suddenly. He blinked. What? I want to thank you properly. Not with money. Not with a reward. She paused. But with truth. There's more happening than you realize. His instincts sharpened. What do you mean? Her expression darkened slightly. The snakebite wasn't an accident. The words hung heavy in the air. I was pushed off the marked trail, she continued quietly. Someone wanted me gone. Armin felt a chill crawl up his spine. And now, she said, you're part of this story too. He should have walked away. A simple act of bravery had turned into something far bigger, dangerous even. But he saw the fear she tried to hide behind her strength. When do we leave? He asked. A slow, determined smile spread across her face. As Armin stepped out of that hospital later, the sun dipped low on the horizon. His quiet life had ended the moment he ran toward that scream. Now, destiny had handed him something greater than survival. A mystery. A fortress. An heiress. And perhaps, something deeper. If this chapter gripped your heart and you want to uncover what secrets await inside Asmer Fort, what enemies hide in the shadows and how courage can rewrite fate, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. The next chapter will reveal betrayals, hidden alliances, and a bond forged in danger that could change everything. Because sometimes, a single act of bravery doesn't just save a life. It unlocks a legacy.